says. Many other people. There is some people went with these people. Who are these people, by the way? They are the Hebrews. There are three kinds of people in this journey that we are going to meet. One, people called the citizens, or the Hebrew, the born citizens. The other people called aliens, those who are living inside with these people. They got intermarried, or this mixed people, many other people. Then there is a third group of people called the strangers. They just, out of excitement, they just join for some time and things like that. Three kinds of people. Their requirements is given in different places, how to deal with each one of them. The citizens, the aliens, and the strangers over there. So the mixed group of people, keep them, we need them. When we come to the book of Numbers, we will deal with these people. They are the people always makes little trouble to these people. Verse 40. Now the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, to the very day, underline the very day, all Lord's divisions left it. Remember that? You may be thinking that what God is doing. God is doing exactly what He is supposed to do. And He will do it. Did Abraham is alive now? No. Isaac is there? No. Joseph is not there? Jacob is not there. But God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob and Joseph is still alive. And He is doing, He is at work, no matter what circumstances, what needs to be done. They all left and they are living. Chapter 43 onwards, and again the Passover, things that we see over there. Instructions given regarding the travel. Then chapter 13, now they left and they are traveling. Chapter 13 verse 17, when Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though that was short. For God said, if they face war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God wanted to teach them some lessons also. So they Moses took bonds of Joseph with him, because Joseph had made sons of Israel swear on oath. He had said, God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bonds. So they start their journey, and God's presence was with them. Verse 21, by the day, Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on the way, and by night a pillar of fire gave them light and protection. Now, 2 million people, they are moved out of Egypt. 430 years of slavery is over. They are free indeed. They are traveling. Chapter 14. This is another important chapter. So, we divided Exodus into three. The first part is the confrontation, then the consecration and the construction. The confrontation continues here. Here we come the crossing of the Red Sea. This is another important chapter in the Bible. So because there are so many important chapters. So it is another important chapter. Because it has so much importance that we see in the New Testament also, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, that we see. Then they came, Passover illustrates Christian salvation, the blood of the Lamb, but there is more to the Christian life than being saved from the judgment. When they came, what happened? And then God said, we know the story and we're not going to explain much of it. And they cried out in fear. They are afraid what they have seen. Chapter 1, verse 10 onwards. As Pharaoh approached, Israelites looked up and there were the Egyptians marching after them. They were terrified and cried out to the Lord. The first time, that's the only time I think that we see that they cry out to the Lord for help. They said to Moses, was it because, then next verse is interesting. What are they saying? Was it there no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? What have you done to us by bringing us out of Egypt? Didn't we say to you, leave us alone, let us serve the Egyptians? And they say that, when this is the Christian life for some people, when something happened, the old life was better. Anyway, there was problem, you're going to live like that. No, God has a purpose to bring you out of that place, and God is going to show that later. It would have been better for us to serve Egyptians than to die in the desert. Moses answered the people, do not be afraid. Stand firm. I think that we remember that sermon that we preached that day. Stand firm. You will see the deliverance of the Lord that will bring you to today. And they cry out to the Lord. And Moses 3 commands he gave. Fear not, stand still, see the salvation of the Lord. And move forward. And and you move forward. Finally, chapter 14, you know the story. The Israelites passed by faith, and the Egyptians' army were killed and buried in the Red Sea. You know that God could have killed the Egyptians or Pharaoh in the palace itself, but He didn't do it. Right? In front of all these people, there is a psychological effect also. That is what exactly that the Lord has done to these people also. In the Pharaoh who are afraid is No more. You are free, free indeed. That is what Jesus has done on the cross. Cross was not a defeat. Colossians 2:15, Paul says that he disarmed the powers of the devil and he made him a public spectacle. A public spectacle. So you and I are free. How? Jesus disarmed the power of the devil. So don't be afraid of Satan at all. Because he may show his tail, but his head is already crushed. It is gone. So we are victorious. Hey, death, where is your victory? That we declare because of that. So that's what we see in chapter 14. Another major thing that happened. Chapter 15 is the first song in the Bible that Moses and Miriam, they are singing. In Exodus chapter 2, started with a sighing. They are crying unto the Lord. 15 that we see, they are singing and they are rejoicing in God's presence. So then we see another Revelation chapter 15 verse 22. The waters of Mara and Elim. Then Moses, Israel. There are three needs that the people, this nomadic moving generation needs. One was leadership. God gave Moses and Aaron for that. The second need was water. God is providing the water for them over here. There we see that what these people, they have say for 3 days they traveled in desert without finding water. When they came to Mara, they could not drink its water because it was bitter. That is why the place is called Mara. So the people all prayed together to the Lord and they cried, right? That will read. You missed the story in between? What are they doing? So the people grumbled against Moses. How many days they already left? Just 2-3 days, almost 2 weeks now. What are the things they have seen? God is standing before them as the pillar of cloud and pillar of light. The Red Sea is divided before them. All the Egyptian army, 600 chariots, all these things are drowned. All those things they are seeing. So they are excited about their faith, right? But a small problem comes, what they do? They declare a fasting and prayer. No, what they did? They did this. Moses is the root cause of all these problems. Right? That's why they started grumbled against God. We'll see there's a book of Numbers called only grumbling, only wandering. We'll see that also in the afternoon. We see finally, but Revelation chapter 12, 14 verse 26. And God gave the healing to that and he said, I am the Lord who heals you. Jehovah Rapha, underline that. Jehovah Rapha. Then they came to Elim where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees. This is says that Moses wrote this because exactly they count all these things. They are eyewitness whoever was traveling with them. Now chapter 16. Manna and quail. The whole Israelite community set out from Elim and came to the desert of Zin. Zin and some places that is in Zin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had come out of Egypt. Almost 45 days now, right? So in these 45 days, how many grumbling already happened, right? You remember that? The wonderful people, right? In the desert, the whole community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. Yeah. And the Israelites said to them, if only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. Two things they always say, food and death. That's the only thing in their memory, died. Because my assumption in that is because they have seen these mummies over there, so their funeral is big for them. So what are they thinking? Death, death, and death, and death. Finally, let's move forward here. Chapter 16, finally God gave them what? Manna. That's chapter 16 is manna. The people are go out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way, I will test them and see whether they will follow my instructions. They want to store it. God said, no, you come every day. How did Jesus teach us to pray? Give us our 1 month bread, right? That's why some people know. Give us our daily bread. The manna represents Christ. Manna is a symbol of God's word. Manna is understanding so many different ways. So how do we deal with that? We study for a seminar and next 3 months we'll never open our Bible at all, right? No, this is a daily thing. Give us our daily bread every day that we have to move forward. So there we see, that is what we see over there. Chapter 17 and 18. And chapter 16 verse 33, that also underlined there, we want to need later. Take a jar and put an armor of manna in it, then place it before the Lord to be kept for the generations to come. As the Lord commanded Moses, Aaron, put the manna in front of the testimony that it might be kept. When we come to tabernacle, we need that. Chapter 17, we see that now the water they got again from the Lord. Chapter 17, verse 5, then the Lord answered Moses, walk on ahead of the people, take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff which you strike the Nile and go. I will stand there before you by the rock at Horeb. Strike the rock and water will come out of it for the people to drink. Now they got water out of the rock. That rock is Christ himself that we read later. So then we chapter 17, there is an enemy, those who came. The Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites at Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, choose some of our men. Go. Who is the Amalekites? We said last week. They are the descendants of Esau. Esau's descendants, Amalekites. Esau made a bad choice. The descendants go down the road that we see. They become enemies of God. And how they overcome that? Joshua fought the war, but Moses prayed in the mountains. When his hand became tired, there we see that Aaron and whom? They lift his hands. That is what church means. It's not one man show. All part of fighting the devil. Our enemy is who? The church out there, right? No, the enemy is the devil himself. So we are trying to advance God's kingdom. We need to help each other to do that. And there we see another revelation of God. Chapter 17, verse 15. Moses built an altar and called it, Lord is my banner, Jehovah Nissi. Chapter 18, we see that Jethro, the father-in-law, is coming to visit Moses, and there we see the delegation process that he is teaching him. Chapter 19, so the first part is over now. First part is what? The confrontation. What are the things that we have seen in confrontation? The cry of Israelites, the call of Moses, the Passover, they get out of the place, crossing of the Red Sea, water was given, manna was given, all those things came. So now they came, they are in Sinai now, chapter 19, verse 1. 3 months passed now after leaving Egypt. In the 3rd month after the Israelites left Egypt, on the very day they came to the desert of Sinai. After they set out from Sukkot, Ramses to Sinai, this is the first trip. They settled down there. They are going to be there for a year now. We are going to see them for just 1 year. They are going to be there. All right? Just 39 years we see them in Numbers. Here we see just 1 year. This is very important place that we are going to see. Then there we see in chapter 19, verse 5 and 6 again. Important verses. Moses went up to the Mount Sinai and God called him. This is what you are to say to the house of Jacob and that you are to tell the people of Israel. Verse 4. You yourself have seen what I did to Egypt and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to